Smoke rises over the mountains of western Iran, and Tehran is sending a message: no one crosses the line. Hundreds of fighters, armed Kurdish units moving from the Iraqi frontier, a bold attempt to open a new front against the Iranian state. Officials in Washington and Tel Aviv confirm the movement, militants pushing toward Iranian territory, hoping to stretch Tehran's forces thin. But Iran says the gamble failed, spectacularly. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the feared Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, claims it crushed the incursion. According to Tehran, every US-backed Kurdish fighter who tried to enter Iran was neutralized. Neutralized. The Iranian Ministry of Intelligence says separatist units attempting to infiltrate through the western border suffered heavy losses after intense fighting. And Iran isn't stopping there. The IRGC says it struck militant bases across the frontier in Iraq, targeting Kurdish strongholds inside the Kurdistan region. Tehran calls it an Israeli-American plan to ignite unrest inside the country. But Iran insists the plot collapsed under overwhelming force. The Kurdish groups involved are among the most organized armed opposition factions confronting the Iranian government. Thousands of fighters based along the Iran-Iraq border. Their strategy? Force Iran to fight on multiple fronts, stretch the regime's security forces, and ignite pressure inside major Iranian cities. But Iran's response is blunt, brutal, and unmistakable. Tehran is signaling it is not ready to bow down, not to insurgents, not to foreign pressure, not to anyone testing its borders. The message from Iran tonight is simple: cross the frontier and face the storm. Because in this escalating regional showdown, Iran is in beast mode, and the border just became a battlefield.
Iran launched a massive attack on separatists in neighboring Iraq's Kurdistan province amid reports that the CIA could fund and arm the Kurdish forces to spark an uprising in the Islamic Republic. Explosions and roars tore through the night silence in Kurdistan. Another footage showed fireballs from debris, possibly from a missile, falling near a house, triggering chaos and panic. Multiple blasts were also reported earlier in the province of Sulaymaniyah in northern Iraq. Local sources said the attacks targeted the headquarters of the Kurdistan Toilers Association, or Komala, an Iranian Kurdish armed group in Iraq. But why is Iran targeting Iraq's Kurdistan amid the raging conflict with the US and Israel? The attacks come amid reports that Iranian Kurdish armed groups have consulted with the United States in recent days about whether and how to attack Iran's security forces in the western part of the country. According to Reuters, the Iranian Kurdish coalition of groups based on the Iran-Iraq border has been training to mount such an attack in hopes of weakening the country's military. Multiple people familiar with the matter told CNN that the CIA, America's top spy agency, is working to arm Kurdish forces to foment an uprising in Iran. The source revealed that the Trump administration has been in active discussions with Iranian opposition groups and Kurdish leaders in Iraq about providing them with military support. On March 3rd, US President Donald Trump even spoke with the president of the Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan, Mustafa Hijri, according to a senior Iranian Kurdish official, according to CNN.
The Trump administration reportedly is considering arming Kurdish forces in the hopes of inspiring a popular uprising in Iran. Could you comment on that report?
I can comment on the fact that the president has held many calls with partners, allies, and leaders in the region, in the Middle East. He did speak to Kurdish leaders with respect to our base that we have in northern Iraq. But as for any report suggesting that the president has agreed to any such plan is completely false and should not be written.
Secretary, so there are reports that the administration is considering arming Iranian Kurdish groups. So could you please clarify that whether any such plan has been authorized and whether Congress or regional partners has been notified and consulted?
All I would say is none of our objectives are premised on the support or the arming of any particular force. So what other entities may be doing, we're aware of, but our objectives aren't centered on that.
Remember, Iranian Kurdish armed groups have thousands of forces operating along the Iraq-Iran border, primarily in Iraq's Kurdistan region. The Kurdish people are an ethnic minority group without an official state. There are an estimated 25 to 30 million Kurds, the majority living in a region that stretches across parts of Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Armenia. Most Kurds are Sunni Muslims, but the Kurdish population has diverse cultural, social, religious, and political traditions, as well as a variety of dialects. Several of the groups have released public statements since the beginning of the war, hinting at imminent action and urging Iranian military forces to defect. But Iran's IRGC has been striking Kurdish groups in the mountainous areas in Iraqi Kurdistan. Tehran has targeted multiple locations it claims are linked to Israeli strategic centers, as well as bases and facilities associated with Iranian Kurdish opposition groups. An Iranian drone on March 4th targeted an arms depot at the headquarters of an Iranian Kurdish opposition group in the town of Dikala. Two drones also targeted a U.S. military base and a hotel in Erbil. Erbil, the capital of the Kurdistan region, has endured several consecutive days of drone and rocket barrages. Many of these attacks have targeted the U.S. military presence at Erbil International Airport. Mounting attacks by the IRGC and pro-Iran militant groups forced the Kurdistan Regional Government, or KRG, to issue a statement distancing the autonomous region from any military activity directed against Iran, emphasizing that Iraqi Kurdistan must not be used as a launching ground for attacks on neighboring states. KRG officials also indicated that they have communicated directly with Iranian Kurdish opposition groups operating in the region, urging them not to carry out cross-border operations into Iran from KRG territory. Meanwhile, civilians in Erbil caught in the crossfire of Iran war.
Honestly, it is hard feeling. I mean, it is not about the financial aspect of it, but it is about the fact that you go for a journey and come back to see this disaster, that you are being a victim of a catastrophic incident. This war that we have nothing to do with it. We are not responsible for it. We are not a part of it, and we were not the cause of it. We just pay the price for something we didn't do.
So when it first happened, I just look over and I just see glass, our windows broken. And I go outside to the living room and I just see all the windows are broken and I hear yelling outside. So I go outside and I just see people, a bunch of people. Later I found out there was a drone right there and it was caught in the power lines. So that's why the explosion wasn't as bad as it could have been. It could have been worse. So I woke up around 2:45 a.m. to one of the loudest bangs I've ever heard of in my life. It was an explosion. And so I quickly jump up and I see all my windows are broken. And so then I go outside and I just see a bunch of people, 20, 30 men, soldiers, who are just looking for something. I don't know what it is. I think they were looking for the drone.
I received so many phone calls. They asked us, Anna, where are you? They were just checking on us. We told them we were outside. They said the complex exploded. I don't know. But I don't know. They're saying the apartments on the first floor were damaged, but I don't know.
Where are we going and why? Now, where are we going and why?
We're going back to the motel because we have nowhere to stay overnight. We need to check into a hotel, so we're heading to the motel.
Why is your apartment damaged here?
No, it's not affected, but we ended up going just from fear because we were scared.